Good morning, children. In the last classes, we are discussed about the Indian physical divisions or India physiography. In geography, the second chapter, India physiography. Or the physical divisions of India. Physiography or physical divisions of India. We know that India geographically a vast country. It is the seventh largest country in the world. So it has a different land structure. India has a different landforms like mountain, plateaus, plains, valleys, coastal regions, islands. Whereas these different structure of our landmass, it is highly influenced on the climatic condition, the river system, the natural vegetation, animal and plant life, the population, all these that are influenced by the landforms. The landforms of our country, it was influenced on various factors like climate, river system, natural vegetation, the land use pattern, agriculture, even industry, and even distribution of population, and all these factors that are influence on the structure of land mass. Based on this, we are classified India into four major physical divisions. On the basis of physiography, India can be divided into four divisions. They are the northern mountains, the northern mountains. So in the last class we already discussed about the northern mountains. Secondly, the North Great Plains, Peninsular Plateau, the coastal region and islands. These are the physiographic divisions of India. So in the last class we already know about the northern mountains or the Himalayan mountain. The northern part of our country, it is located by our Himalayas. It comprises of Himalayas. So Himalaya, it is a group of n-fold mountains. Himalaya is not a single mountain, it is a group of mountains. So we call as range. Range means group of mountain. Whereas our Himalaya, it occupies the northern side or northern boundaries of our India. It has extended nearly 2,400 kilometers. So it extends as a continuous chain along the northern boundaries of India. It has a length of nearly 2,400 kilometers. One of the features of our Himalaya that consisting of the word highest peaks, a deep valleys, gorges, glaciers, passes. Our Himalaya that consisting of the word highest peaks, gorges, deep valleys, mountain passes. Whereas our Himalaya it has extend from Indus Valley. It extends from Indus Gorge in the west to Brahmaputra Gorge in the east. It has a length of nearly 2,400 kilometers and it has a width of nearly 240 to 320 kilometers. So totally it occupies nearly 5 lakh square kilometer of an area. So based on the structure of our Himalaya, we are classified into three parallel ranges. Based on the structure of our Himalaya, we are classified into three parallel ranges. They are Greater Himalayas, Greater Himalayas. Secondly, Lesser Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas, Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas, Sivaliks, Sivaliks. In this way, we are classified our Himalaya based on structure. We already know about the Greater Himalayas. The Greater Himalaya, it consisting of the innermost and continuous highest ranges of Himalaya. It has an highest range of Himalaya we call as Greater Himalayas. ಏನು ತುಂಬಾ ಹೈಟ್ ಆಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ಹಿಮಾಲಯಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೇವೆ. It has extend as a continuous and highest range. So here the average height is nearly 6,100 meters. It is an average height of this Greater Himalaya, 6,100 meters. So these Greater Himalaya that consisting of many highest peaks in this world, that is Mount Everest. It is the highest peak in this world. It lies in Himalayas. Mount Everest, 8,848 meters. It also consisting of the world other highest peaks: Kanchanajunga, Dhavalagiri, Makalu, Nandadevi, Manastu. In this way, it consisting of many highest peaks of this world. Among them, Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world. It lies between Tibet and Nepal. Whereas most of these Greater Himalayas, they are covered by the snow throughout the year. That's why it is called as Himadri. Greater Himalayas are called as Himadri because the greater part of this Himalaya covered with the snow throughout the year. That's why they are called as Himadris. It also consisting of many glaciers, Gangotri, Yamunotri glaciers. It is a main source of river water. It is a birthplace of many rivers. And it also consisting of many mountain passes: Barzila Pass, Shipkila Pass, Jozila Pass. In this way, it consisting of many mountain passes, many glaciers, and many highest peaks. In north-western part of this Greater Himalayas, some mountain ranges that extend towards or lying to the northwest of Himalayas we called as Trans-Himalaya, or the mountains that are lying to the northwest of Greater Himalayas we called as Trans-Himalayas. In this Trans-Himalayas, in a Karakoram range, K2 or Mount Godwin Astrid is the highest peak. It is the highest peak in India. K2 or Mount Godwin Astrid. It is the highest peak in India. It lies in Karakoram range. It is in India. Mount Everest lies between Tibet and Nepal. K2 highest peak in India. Then we already know about Lesser Himalayas. To the south of Greater Himalayas, we have to see the extension of Himalayan range. It is called as Lesser Himalaya or Himachal They are extend from 60 to 80 kilometers width and 1500 to 4500 meters height. So these lesser Himalayas are Himachal. Idu greater Himalayas are Himadri. Idanna lesser Himalayas anna Himachal, we call as Himachal. It has a width of 60 to 80 kilometers of width, 1500 to 4500 meters height. So the eastern part of this mountain, the Himachal, it is covered by forests. So it consisting of many parallel ranges. In a lesser Himalayas, we have to see many parallel ranges. They are Mussoorie, Mahabharat, Nakhchivan, Pirpanjal, Dhauladhar. These are the mountain ranges. Pirpanjal, Dhauladhar, Nakhchivan, Mussoorie, Mahabharat and Darjeeling. These are some important mountain ranges of lesser Himalaya. Then it also consisting of many valleys. Kangra Valley, Kulu Valley, Lahore Valley, Kangra, Kashmir, Kulu. And these Himalayan ranges, it consists of many hill stations like Shimla, Darjeeling, Mussoorie, Nainital. Shimla, Darjeeling, Nainital, Mussoorie. These are the famous hill stations. These hill stations that attracts the tourists. So it is about lesser Himalayas. So Hindi class ಅಲ್ಲಿ study ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. Now we are discuss about the Shivaliks or outer Himalayas. Outer Himalayas. Shivaliks or outer Himalayas. Or they are also called as foothills of Himalayas. Foothills of Himalayas. Foothills of Himalaya. The Shivalik range, it is an outermost range of ranges or the foothills. It is located in south of Shivaliks. Greater Himalaya southern part alli lesser Himalayas barutte. Lesser Himalaya southern part alli we have to see Shivaliks. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಹಿಮಾಲಯವನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಮಗೆ ಶಿವಾಲಿಕ್ಸ್ ಲೆಸ್ಸರ್ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್. So this outer range or foothills of Himalaya it extend to the south of lesser Himalayas. They are also called as outer Himalayas. They are the lowest range of Himalayas that are extend up to 1600 to 1500, 600 to 1500 meters. Greater Himalaya average at 6100 meters. Lesser Himalayas 1500 to 4500. Shivaliks 600 to 1500. Below 600 idra idana hill anta ಕರೀತೀವಿ. Above 600 idra idana mountain anta ಕರೀತೀವಿ. So it has an average height of 600 to 1500 meter. So it has width is varies from 50 to 150 kilometer. It has extend from Jammu Kashmir in the west to Arunachal Pradesh. It has extend from Jammu Kashmir in the west to Arunachal Pradesh in the east. The Shivaliks that are extended from Jammu Kashmir in the west to Arunachal Pradesh in the east. They have a flat bottoms. They have longitudinal structural valleys. So we have to see a level land. So we call as a dunes. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಈ ಫುಟಿಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಹಿಮಾಲಯಾಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ. ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿವಾಲಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಆಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲರ್ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕಾಣ್ತೀವಿ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಡೂನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. ಸೊ the flat bottom structure of Siwaliks we called as dune. Example, Dehradun. Example, Dehradun. So it is about Siwaliks. Siwaliks that are extend to the southern part of Lesser Himalayas. They are also called as Outer Himalayas or foothills of Himalayas. The average height is 600 to 1500 meter. The width 50 to 150 kilometer. 15 to 150 kilometer. They are extend from Jammu Kashmir in the west to Arunachal Pradesh in the east. In these foothills of Siva or in Siwaliks, we have to see a small plain lands, a level lands we call as dunes. Example, Dehradun. So these are the parallel ranges. Next, importance of Himalayas. Here it may be a 2 marks question. What are the uses or the importance of Himalayas? Firstly, Himalaya that extend as a natural wall, between India and China. It extends as a natural wall between India and China. It is Himalayas are the natural frontiers. Himalayas are the natural frontiers. They prevent foreign invasions. They prevent foreign invasions, foreign attacks. It is not easy to attack India through Himalayas because Himalaya can extend as a natural wall in a northern front, particularly India and China. It prevents the cold winds and also prevent the cold winds that blow from Asia. Our Himalaya prevent the foreign invasions. It also prevent the cold winds that go from particularly Central Asia and keeps India with warm. Thirdly, India it obstruct rain bearing winds. Obstruct rain bearing winds and cause heavy rainfall. Our Himalaya that are stopped the rain bearing winds and cause heavy rainfall to the greater part of India. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಕೂಲ್ ಆದಾಗ ಅದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ our Himalayas that stop these clouds, rain bearing clouds and may cause heavy rainfall. Then our Himalaya that consisting of the forest, it consists of densely forests. It consists of densely forest. It is an home of many animals and birds. It gave shelter to many animals and birds. So we have to see the rich natural vegetation. Because our Himalaya that consisting of densely forest. It is a home of many birds and animals. So, and even it is rich in minerals. It is rich in minerals. Our Himalaya, it has a rich in mineral resource. It is noted for agriculture. Himalaya is noted for agriculture. Particularly the valleys, the Himalays that are noted for agriculture. Whereas Jammu Kashmir, West Bengal, Kashmir apple, tea plantation of Assam, they are grown in these foothills of Himalayas. They are noted for agriculture. Then they are birthplace of many rivers. They are the birthplace of many rivers. They are the birthplace of many rivers. Our Himalaya that gave birth to many rivers are many perennial rivers that flow. The Himalayan rivers that flow throughout the year, they are rain-fed and snow-fed rivers. And Himalaya is suitable. It is suitable for generation of hydroelectricity. It is well suitable for the production of hydroelectricity because the rivers of Himalaya that flow in gorges and valleys, so they are suitable for production of hydroelectricity. So these are the importance or the uses of Himalayas. Firstly, Himalayas that extend as a natural wall between India and China. Secondly, they prevent the foreign invasions. They prevent the cold winds that blow from Central Asia and keeps India with warm. Thirdly, Himalayas that obstruct a rain-bearing winds and they cause heavy rainfall to the greater part of India. Then it consists of densely forest. It is a home of many animals and birds. It is noted for agriculture. It is rich in mineral resource. It gave birth to many rivers and it is well suitable for production of hydroelectricity. These are the uses of Himalayas. It is about the northern mountains. The next feature, the northern Great Plains. Second physiographic division, the northern Great Plains or northern plains. The northern Great Plains. Great Plain, or it is also known as Gangetic Plain. Gangetic Plain. The second physical division of India, it is the northern Great Plain. Generally, plain means a low-lying area, a low-level land we call as the plain. Whereas this northern Great Plain, it lies between the Himalayas. It lies between the Himalayas and Peninsular Plateau. Himalaya and Peninsular Plateau. The northern Great Plain or Ganga Satluj Plain or Gangetic Plain, it lies between Himalayas in the north. Northerly Himalaya, southerly Peninsular Plateau. It lies between Himalayas and Peninsular Plateaus. So, it is formed by It is formed by deposition of materials brought down by rivers, So this plain is formed by the deposition of materials brought down by the three river system, particularly Sutlej, Ganga, Brahmaputra. This plain is formed by the deposition of materials brought down by the rivers like Brahmaputra, Sutlej and Ganga. Sutlej, Ganga, Brahmaputra rivers, they are born in Himalaya. In the course of the river, they carry the small particles and deposited in its plainland. ಇದನ್ನ ಡಿಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ನದಿಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಹರಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್, ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಸಣ್ಣ ರಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ತಂದು ಈ ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ರೀತಿ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನಾರ್ದರ್ನ್ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಪ್ಲೈನ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಡ್ ಬೈ deposition of materials brought down by the rivers like Sutlej, Ganga, Brahmaputra. It is very fertile. It is very fertile soil. It is very fertile soil. The soil is very fertile. It is the largest alluvial tract. It is the largest alluvial tract. The types of soil ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Alluvial soil, black soil, red soil, laterite soil, mountain soil. So it has a large deposits of alluvial soil. ಇದನ್ನ alluvial soil tract ಅಂತಾನೂ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. It is the largest alluvial tract in the world. Largest alluvial tract in the world. ಇಡೀ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ largest alluvial soil ಅನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂತ ರಿವರ್ ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾರ್ದರ್ನ್ ಪ್ಲೈನ್. So it has extended nearly east to west 2500 kilometer. East to west ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 2500 kilometer. The average width 240 to 340 kilometers width ಅನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದೆ. 240 to 340 kilometers of width. So it occupies nearly 7 lakh total area, 7 lakh square kilometers of an area. The total area it occupies nearly 7 lakh square kilometer. Himalaya 5 lakhs. The northern plain it occupies nearly 7 lakh square kilometer. So this it is very flat. It is a very flat land. It is a very fertile. So it is well suitable for practicing of agriculture. It is a flat and rocks. So it is the structure of the northern Great Plains. The northern Great Plains that lies between Himalayas in the west to Peninsular Plateau in the south, or it lies between Himalayas and Peninsular Plateau. So this plain is formed by the deposition of materials brought down by many rivers like Sutlej, Ganga, Brahmaputra. It consisting of the fertile soil. It is the largest alluvial tract in the world. It has extended nearly 2500 kilometers of length, and east to west it has the length of nearly 2500 kilometer and width of 240 to 340 kilometers. So totally it occupies nearly 7 lakh square kilometer of an area. It is a very flat, fertile land. Next to importance. What are the importance of greater plains? Importance. ಇಲ್ಲಿ how are the northern plains formed ಅಂದ್ರೆ formed by deposition of materials ಅಂತ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. So which is the largest alluvial tract in the world ಅಂದ್ರೆ northern plains. The northern importance, northern Great Plain is suitable for irrigation and agriculture. It is suitable, mainly suitable for agriculture and irrigation because it is a flat land. It is very easy to construct irrigational canal. So many perennial rivers that flow. So here agriculture and irrigations are highly developed. So it is very suitable for irrigation and agriculture. It has perennial rivers. It consists of perennial rivers. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪೆರಿನಿಯಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನಾನ್ ಪೆರಿನಿಯಲ್. ಪೆರಿನಿಯಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವರ್ಷವಿಡೀ ಹರಿತಕ್ಕಂತ ರಿವರ್ಸ್, ನಾನ್ ಪೆರಿನಿಯಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಓನ್ಲಿ ರೈನ್ ಫೆಡ್. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸೌತ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಮಳೆಗಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಿ ಹರಿಯುತ್ತೆ, ಸಮ್ಮರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡ್ರೈ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ಹಿಮಾಲಯನ್ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಹಾಗಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಸ್ನೋ ಫೆಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೈನ್ ಫೆಡ್ ರಿವರ್ಸ್, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವನ್ನ ಪೆರಿನಿಯಲ್ ರಿವರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೆರಿನಿಯಲ್ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫರ್ಟೈಲ್ alluvial soil and fertile alluvial soil. It consisting of the fertile alluvial soil. It is a level land. It has a good network of roadways, railways. It is very easy to construct irrigational canals. It is very easy to construct roadways, railways, means of communication, industries. Many industries that are developed, particularly many agro-based industries. They are very noted for urbanization. So here the trade is highly developed. Many towns and cities that develop in that plain land. It consisting of number of pilgrim places. So these are the importance of the northern Great Plains. The northern Great Plains that are suitable for agriculture and irrigation. Many perennial rivers that flow, it consisting of fertile alluvial soil. Thirdly, it is a level land. It is very easy to construct roadways, railways and irrigational canals. It is highly developed in industries, urbanization and trade. Many pilgrim places that are located here. So nearly 40% of our Indian population that lies in that region. It is a densely populated region. Nearly 40% of the population that lives in that plain land because of availability of good facility. Because it is agriculturally, industrially, trade and commerce that are highly developed. So it is the heart of India. It is also known as heart of India. So it is about the northern Great Plains. Next physical division, peninsular plateau. Third physical division, the peninsular plateau. Plateau means a high level land. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಗಿಂತ ತುಂಬಾ ಎತ್ತರವಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತ ಸಮತಟ್ಟಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತ ಏರಿಯಾ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಯೂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ದಿ ಪೆನಿನ್ಸುಲರ್ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಯೂ. ದಿ ಪೆನಿನ್ಸುಲರ್ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಯೂ. plateau, P-L-A-T-E, P-L-A, P-L-A, E ने बरीबोल, P-L-A-T-E-A-U, P-L-A-T-E-A-U, plateau. So it is the largest physical division, largest and the oldest physical division of India. The Peninsular Plateau is the largest and oldest physical division of India. It consisting of the oldest land mass, You know that the formation of the earth, it has taken millions of years. Among them, this Peninsular Plateau, it is the oldest landmass. It was formed due to Gondwana land ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. In geology ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Geology, it studies about the earth, creation of earth. So in the creation of earth, they are classified into various stages. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊಂಡಾವನ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಗೊಂಡಾವನ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. So here, for example, in Harappan civilization, Indus civilization that flourished on Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. But nowadays, these cities that are submerged in river Sindhu,